Boom. Live. Get Valiant 83. Man, those numbers are getting big.
Where has time gone?
I don't know. I don't know, but the nice thing about the passage of this time is that we're getting closer and closer to the inevitability of a Bloodshot movie.
Very true.
Want to drop straight into that.
Okay. I'm
Um,
down with that.
Dude, so we've seen, Vin Diesel saying a couple things here and there about getting ready to play the character. And now we're starting to hear other casting news, and that I don't know about you, but I'm pretty stoked about that.
Um, I don't know who the one guy was, the Outlanders guy. I don't know who he is at all. But Michael Sheen, he's great. I like him in things. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that he's in, but I've seen him in a bunch of things, and I do tend to like him. And someone from Baby Driver was going to be in it. I don't know her name off the top of my hat. I didn't really care for that movie too much.
I never saw it. I honestly never saw it, and I might need to go and
It's
remedy
like
that.
2/3 of a good movie. I like the third. I guess what you call like the third act of it. I just really didn't care for it after that. But it's a good movie. Up and for what, and for you, it might be a good movie. That's all I'll say. Maybe you'll like it. A lot of people like it. It's a pretty popular
For
movie.
me, you're like, it's terrible, but maybe somebody like
No, no,
you.
no. It's not a terrible movie. I'm just saying. Have you ever watched a movie where you thought this is where the plot should go, and then the plot didn't go there, and you're just like, I don't like where this is going.
No, because I mean, I want to be surprised,
Yeah. But for me, I was just like, I don't like the turn this took. So I don't know. But a lot of people like it. It was very highly liked on Rotten Tomatoes and all that kind of shit. So anyway, but how cool is it though that three more people getting cast into Bloodshot? It's turning into a movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's supposed to be filming this summer, and like, it's actually happening. I don't know what to make of it, man. Like, I'm ready for it to happen. That's going to be really cool. Um, I really want to see, like, the thing that's really going to blow me away is when we get uh, Vin Diesel in character. That's when I'm going to be just absolutely jacked. Like, I don't know.
He looks like he's getting in pretty good shape from what it shows on his Instagram. Is that where it was? The video came from his Instagram.
Yeah.
He looks like he's getting
Um,
he's getting ready.
yeah. I would imagine, is going to have to do some shirtless scenes. So he better be, he better be pretty cut. He's going to have to.
Well, you and my wife will both be very happy about that.
I'm not saying it's something I'm looking forward to. Come on now. Come
Why
on.
not? It's Bloodshot. You can see the red dot. All
Yeah,
like,
no. I'm looking forward to like him being bloodshot, but I'm not like, oh man, I can't wait till he takes his shirt off.
no,
I'm just saying, if he's bloodshot, he's going to have his shirt off. Like, it's going to
yeah.
happen.
The thing to me about like, I'm sure we've discussed this part of it, but like the only thing that kind of bothers me about all this is like, a lot of comic book movies, they take things from the comic and they think, you know what, we got to make this appeal to a grand audience, to a larger scale of people. And if they change it too much, I'm going to be kind of bummed. I really hope that they can stay true to at least Bloodshot as close as they can. Um, if he doesn't like turn back to normal, like sometimes how Ray does it in the comics, like that's okay. He doesn't just have, but he's got to have white skin. He's got to have red eyes. He's got to just kill a shit ton of people.
Yeah, this better be rated R. Like, I'm gonna have a really hard time imagining a not rated R
PG-13
bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
Yeah, like
Would
how would you even do that? Like, what would that even be? I don't know.
well,
I don't want to know.
well,
I
my
hope that
question on that is, what do you really lose? I mean, because do we think that would be like a gory movie, like Bloodshot just fucking people up left and right? Lots of
yeah,
like
and him getting
close ups
fucked
of
up, like, that's
bodies
part
just
of the
getting
whole thing.
exploded with bullets. You
But
know,
I want
because
to see him get injured and like have bones sticking out of his arms, and you know what I'm saying?
oh
Like
yeah,
that scene when he like didn't he kill Gamma with his broken arm, like the bone sticking out? His like arm is like flopping, and he's
no,
got like
no, he killed one of the chainsaw guys with a bone sticking out of his arm. It's the
was
same
that what it
arc.
was?
Yeah, it's the same arc where his arm
I
gets broken and there's a bone sticking out and he just jabs at the guy's neck.
Yeah, because like half of his arm is this like this whole half of his arm right here is just hanging down, and there's a big old bone, and yeah, it's just
Oh,
stabbing
and there's
people with.
definitely like if they follow like the first like year or so of VEI's Bloodshot, that version, that iteration. I think there'd be some cool like violent scenes like that, where you'd see like, the capabilities of his healing system plus like what he's able to do, while healing, things like that. Um, Creative ways that he could kill people that way. So
Yeah, man, it better be, and so it has to be rated R, man. Like I mean, like it has to. I'm as the guy wearing a Bloodshot shirt. I don't know if you can. You're not wearing a Bloodshot
I
shirt.
see it. Don't you wear one like every episode?
No, no. Normally, I'm wearing like death metal shirts and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so definitely ready to see that.
Who do
More
you think any of the people
casting.
are? Do you have any like? Do you have any like suspicion as to who you think these characters are being cast as?
That's really, really difficult. Because we don't really know anything about what this story is going to be about and like what characters are going to be in it. Um, I think that I'm pretty sure that it's been made clear that Heisler wrote like 5 movies before the comics ever came out. So there's a Bloodshot and a Bloodshot 2 already written, ready to go, scripted out, and those were done before the Straczynski stuff, not to mention all of the Lemire stuff.
Oh,
So
those
my
scripts that
guess,
old?
huh?
Those scripts are that old?
That's my understanding.
Hmm. I don't
So
know. That's crazy. I bet you though, Michael Sheen. I bet you he's like Simon Ulrich, or I don't think they'd have Kozel yet, but if they did, it'd be him.
see, that was
But
my
that's one
first thought
thing.
about the other guy, the Outlanders guy or whatever. I was like, he could be Kozel. He looks like he could be a
No,
total smarmy
he's
douche.
probably gonna have to be like a tough dude. So he's probably like a chainsaw dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
could
know. We'll see,
be.
man. That's kind of the fun about this, though, is like looking at people that are getting cast and being like, who are they, man? Who could they be?
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't wait to like
Speculation.
see it. I'm ready for set photos. I'm ready for promo photos. Seeing a trailer, I think I'm probably going to end up losing my mind. Um, but it's not all good news. It's not all broken bones and gunshots,
Nope.
because those are the positive things. Also, keeping with Bloodshot, Lemire's Salvation, Bloodshot Salvation is coming to an end.
Yep. Issue 12 will be the last one. Man, it seems like somebody was saying that a lot, that it would be issue 12.
I don't remember
Um,
who that was. I think actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, I think that was me.
no. Anyway, you know what? I wonder if part of it is just that is he was able to wrap his story up, and they're like, cool, we're gonna end the book at that, and then he's gonna go off and do one of his many creator-owned projects, which will be really sad. I mean, Lemire has been a big part of my enjoyment of Valiant. Uh, he's been writing Bloodshot forever, and I mean, I just seem to remember like really getting into the books when the Valiant hit. Like I've been buying everything, but like I really like I turned a page somewhere with the Valiant and became just like a huge fan of everything that Valiant was doing. So like to lose Lemire, like it's gonna be a real like it's a huge loss, I think, like Valiant. And that's if I mean we don't know. No one knows for sure how any of this stuff works, but I just imagine that with all the books he has coming out, he's even got like another Marvel book coming out that he probably just can't keep up with like every single thing that he's doing. But hopefully he's around to do something else at some point, because we've liked his books here a lot.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan. I mean, the Valiant was what got me really into Valiant. So for me, this is kind of like when Venditti left, because for me, I don't really know a Valiant without Jeff Lemire. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's been writing Bloodshot the entire time that I've been an active Valiant reader. So for me, I mean that's a really big deal, him walking away. But having said that, I'm also at a point where like he's told a lot of stories with Bloodshot and he's really advanced the character and made him into something very different from what he was before. And I'm ready to see somebody else take a crack at him. Now, I mean, in my dream fantasy land, we would have Christos Gage writing the next Bloodshot book. And who knows if
Uh-huh.
that'll ever happen.
Yeah.
But
He's
but
got a lot of books too. Maybe if he can lose a book, maybe he'll pick up Bloodshot.
yeah, just as long as it's
Uh,
not an indicate.
yeah, I think that we're kind of due for like a more action oriented book of Bloodshot, because
That's what
it,
I'm thinking, man.
I don't mind like Salvation, but Salvation's a book that like when it comes in every month, I'm just like, okay, I'll read it. Like it'll be like the second book I read. I'm not really excited to read it, and I like the issues, and overall I like the story. It's been really slow, and for me, I just don't think that really makes for a great Bloodshot story. Like I mean, unless there's a hell of an ending with this, and they stick the landing, I can't really think of like being like oh man, this is like one of the best things ever. Like I
Reborn.
love Reborn. Reborn
Yeah.
is excellent. I mean, every storyline in that I just think is so good. The drama, that there's a lot of tension. There's a good amount of violence. Like there's a lot of like things that I think make a Bloodshot book good with
To
Reborn.
me, like Colorado, that whole arc, the hunt was still good, but I think Colorado set the tone in a way that was just amazing. And then Analog Man was just an insane wild ride with art that is just unmatchable, just
Yeah.
untouchable. Um, and
Well,
then
that's hard to
I
say.
mean
That's hard to say because as much as I like the Analog Man storyline, Bloodshot Island after that with Soyan, it's just as
that did
good
have
art wise. Art wise is
that
just as
has
good. It's such a
I,
cool story.
See, I don't think it was as good. Was it really fucking good? Absolutely. But I don't think it was quite as good as what LaRosa did in Analog Man. And
Oh,
then, but
it's
yeah,
just
I
too
mean, then we
hard.
did.
It's
But
just
as far
hard.
as like these iconic Bloodshot stories, I mean, from Colorado and the Hunt, making up him getting his nanites back, that was epic. I'd love to see a movie like that. And then going through Analog Man, all that crazy shit. That was, like I said, a pretty wild ride. Getting into Bloodshot Island that led into Bloodshot USA. That was another whole big epic that those two kind of running into each other the way they did was insane. Um, you know, and then I think when it finished off and Salvation hit, I just don't think that it's had the same kind of momentum that Reborn had. And I think if we can get another new writer with a fresh vision on the character, because that's what I want to see, is somebody take. Because Lemire said, okay, here's where Bloodshot is right now, and here's how I'm going to turn him into something else. If somebody can take where Lemire's leaving him, where Lemire is leaving him at the end of Salvation, and morph him into something else again, that would be amazing to read. That's one of the best things about Valiant Comics is the characters change.
Oh yeah, I know. If they just make him basically just a gun, I would be really disappointed. Like if someone didn't have any more of a vision for him than just make him like a soldier who just goes around and kills, and there's really not much plot to it. It'd be kind of disappointing, even though like it would be nice to see like a little, like the action ratcheted up a bit. But I mean, hopefully someone can kind of put their spin on it as good as like Lemire did. That would be like the dream, I think. To be like, we found the next Lemire to handle Bloodshot. Whoever it may be, and they've got 3 years of stories planned. Would Valiant do 3 years of a book? Who knows? But um, it would be really cool if they could find someone who had like a really passionate take or something really unique that would make people be like take notice with it. Because it even seems like there's just not a lot of talk on this book. I mean, like some of the gimmicky issues, like the all black issue, people were talking about it. The dog issue, like we were talking about, we liked it, even though it was like a really messed up issue. But other than that, like there's just not a lot of buzz around the title. Um, but I mean, like I said, it'll be really awful to see Lemire go because, honestly, like before he started working for Valiant, I could have cared less for his work. I never got into his books until he worked for Valiant. And becoming a Valiant writer, I've checked out work he's done since, like the Terrifics and um, Black Hammer, for instance, Descender. I've liked all these books. His Thanos book that he did at Marvel, I liked. And I think he even did Old Man Logan. Like, I think he started the Old Man Logan series
He did.
that they're doing right now still. And I've liked his work a lot, like something happened with him working with Valiant where I was like, shit, I want to read everything else he's doing. So I don't know. Hopefully like there's some more down the road somewhere, but if not, I imagine we get another Bloodshot book by the time a movie comes out.
Yeah, I just really hope that we don't have a long time to wait before the next Bloodshot book starts. Um, but was there other news? I feel like there was something else.
I don't know.
There's a two Bloodshot thing. Oh. The other thing that I really wanted to talk about that isn't our reviews for this week. That new the next arc of Exo Manowar. Matt Kint did an interview about that, and that interview was awesome. Did you get to read that?
I did read a bit of it, yes. Sounds like they're tying into Eternity, which is rad.
Dude, and this is something I think that we said on the last episode of Get Valiant, episode 82, I believe, and I could be wrong. It might have been a previous episode, but I think last episode we were talking about, wanting to see those characters involved in the greater Valiant universe. And maybe not all the time, but it would be nice.
We had a conversation recently about that, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did. And I'm glad that now we're seeing that Kint intends to do that. And what I'm hoping is that, he used Eternity to create those characters and establish their existence. And I'm hoping now that him starting to bring them into his Exo Manowar book, which I actually think is a really reasonable place to bring them, since they're a galactic or cosmic threat. Why wouldn't you put them in the book? Yeah, the character who can handle cosmic threats. Anyway, I like that never would have occurred to me, I guess is what I'm saying, but it makes perfect sense now that I know about it. Anyway, I hope that leads to other writers getting ideas for those characters and saying, you know what, if we did, if we had those characters show up in Shadow Man, for example, there's a lot of stories that, you could get with other Valiant books.
Oh, I hear you. And to me, like, I like Divinity so much, and I like everything that comes out of Divinity so much too, that like I want to see more like those characters in different settings. Like, it was neat when we got the one storyline in Imperium where Divinity showed up and he messed around with that whole gang of people for a couple issues. But there's so many like cool characters. There's so much like untapped potential with I don't even know what you really call that place. That place on the edge of the universe. They all get their abilities. Yeah, and it's like, bring those characters in. There's got to be some stories to tell. Like I'm a sucker for it. And one thing that's cool about that, and I'm so ready for this, is that arc will be penciled by Juan Jose Reap. And so, like, I can't wait to see him draw, like, issues of Exo Manowar. I'm just loving what he's doing on Ninja K right now. And it's never been a secret. He's my favorite artist at Valiant. So it's like, put him on some more books, like get him on every title at some point so I can see like what he does with every single character.
See, I think that this is a really weird thing. That was the only thing about that announcement that caught me as kind of being I wasn't 100% happy about. And it's not that I'm upset about Reap doing an Exo book, but like when I think of him doing his best work, I think of Wrath of the Eternal Warrior. This Ninja K run is really good. And Britannia is so perfect for him.
Well, it definitely would I'll say this. I mean, like, one thing I always like about Reap is that his books just like are real visceral and violent. Like, there's like
that's what I'm saying.
Mess, and I mean, like an Exo Manowar book would read that. But at the same time, though, like I said, I mean, I'm excited to see him just do a book like something like just another character that he does. I don't normally get to see him do. So it's like, just check one more character off the list that he got to do a story arc of. Like we just need to get him on Shadow Man next.
I would love to see him on Shadow Man, and the other thing that I would love to see him do is a Bloodshot book.
Oh yeah,
I think that he could do an amazing. See, here's the thing too. Like, if Bloodshot did get put back in a situation where he was just a mindless killer again somehow, I think that Reap would be the guy to draw that.
Oh
Because
yeah.
he could do it so just gritty and, like you said, visceral. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you that I want to see him do all kinds of different stuff because his style is really awesome. XO is just not a book that I would think of
Well,
working for him. And I'm not saying I'm expecting it to be bad,
oh no. And I'll probably have some more thoughts on it, like when we get to our review of Exo Man of War, just because like I don't want to say anything just yet, about like anything.
All right.
But,
Well, why don't we get into the reviews? Since we're talking so much about Exo Man of War, let's review Shadow Man 3.
All right. So as you guys know who are listening, if you're listening, and here's my cover. I got the pre-order edition. That one's nice.
I've only got this one here. It's the Tanner's one.
Yeah. But like people listening, we're gonna go spoiler on this, So like you've been warned. It's the day after books came out when we record. So I mean I would hope by now you've read this shit.
I would hope so. And if not, come back and listen later.
Yeah.
So Shadow Man, dude, I remember saying, because last week we reviewed Ninja K, and we just keep raving about how that's the best book at Valiant right now. And I remember saying that if any book could dethrone Ninja K as the best book at Valiant, it would be Shadow Man. And I think that this issue makes that case more clear. Like, I'm not saying that this is above Ninja K for me, but it's definitely second right now. This, I think, is my second favorite book at Valiant. And it's, along with Ninja K, it's easily one of the most anticipated things I'm reading out of everything. Like, I read Marvel stuff, I read a lot of Image stuff, and, all these, some DC, so of all the different things that I read, Shadow Man and Ninja K are two of the very top, ones that I'm excited for every month. And, yeah, I really can't wait to see where this goes. There were so many awesome moments in this book. I don't know if I would even want to try to break them all down. There were so many.
Well, one thing that I really liked about this one a lot, and this is no knock on Steven Segovia, I've liked his art, but Ben Oliver, is that who? No, Adam Polina. Adam Polina's work in this was rad. Like when you see that house in the dead side, that's like the nexus or whatever, or like the center of things. It looked just awesome. It's so well detailed. I thought so too. I liked the little. I liked their plan, how they were going to summon Baron Samedi, and so while he was present on Earth, Jack was going to steal back his scythe, and no one would be there to bust him, but it didn't work out quite the way he planned. As far as I know. But I thought
something I was going to say, what I've been hoping for from this book is bringing Jack into a place where I care about him more and where I want to root for him, because I've really kind of despised him for a while. The whole opening scene when he's going up against that demon and he's just getting really angry at him. And then
he's like, come back here. Come on, fight me. Come on. I love it.
Leading up to that, I thought that was such an awesome moment, like, because he's being so strong, and then to just right at the end of it, have him kind of break down and like, oh, please, like, I think that showing he's going through a lot, and I thought that was a really good character moment and a good way to show that. And so I feel like everything in this book with Jack, like all of his scenes were just, they show him not necessarily moving in exactly the direction I hoped he would move, but in a direction I'm very happy to follow.
Yeah. I thought everybody in this book was awesome. Alyssa's awesome. I really like the fact that like she's such a like strong character. She's not like a sidekick necessarily. Like she's an addition to the book, but she's like her own character. Like she ain't taking any shit from anyone, and she's got her own plans. I mean, she's she's just not like the girl character waiting for the guy to save her. Like it's awesome, you know. Like she's rad.
Yeah, she is definitely not going to be a damsel in distress. And yeah, like you said, I mean, she's not like a sidekick to Shadow Man.
She's
Because
doing
that's
stuff
kind
to
of what
help
the
him, but
betters
like
are.
you know, but without his knowledge, you know, like he's on his side and she's like, I'm gonna do this thing, we'll do this, and I've just liked her like a lot, like in these last 3 issues. So
She's
I
got
think
so
that's
much grit. You know, she's being written with so much grit and so much just determination. And she survived the 5 years that Jack was gone just on determination alone, you know, and willpower. So, I mean, the way that she's being portrayed like that, I mean, the abettors coming at her and trying to tell her what to do, and she's like, basically, fuck you guys. You don't know what the fuck you just walked into. If you want to be of any service, you're going to do what I fucking tell you to do, you know?
yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I love her. I think she's being written really, really well. Chalk her up as another character who probably could carry her own miniseries someday.
Maybe, you know, I mean, like, and that's the thing about doing these characters and doing them right is that then there's a lot more potential for putting them in another book, giving them their own like spot to shine in. You
Well,
know,
I mean,
so
imagine a Shadow Man arc where Jack is, you know, doesn't is trapped somewhere for real, like, and he can't get out or something. I would be more than happy to follow an arc of her going through everything that needs to be done because she can't do it with Jack's powers. She's got to take the hard way, and I think that would be a really interesting either miniseries or just an arc of the book.
yeah,
You know, she
I
could
think it
lead
would
it.
work. I think it would work because they've already set up the surrounding area that they reside in as being one that's got a lot of threats in it. You know, we've got like zombies in the graveyard, we've got things in the bayou, we got like these like the people from like the second issue that like killed the child. Was that the first issue or the second issue that happened?
Oh man, I don't even remember.
But
Been
like
so
you know, what I mean,
long.
like there's threats all over the place now, and so even if like Jack's not around, like I think that you could do things with Alyssa that would make it work, you know. But still, I mean, like I'm glad to have Jack back as like another
For
ongoing,
sure.
and he
Yeah.
definitely is like leaps and bounds better than when he was, you know, the end times mini.
Yeah.
I mean, is he
Well, and the
perfect?
whole
No, but
like,
like I like to think that when this story arc wraps up, like when it's finally all said and done, like hopefully he's like where he needs to be as a character. But I feel like we're getting there. I really do feel like we're getting there, man. He's pretty good right now. Just
yeah,
a little.
he's becoming a character who can stand strong next to the other powerful characters of the Valiant universe instead of being the guy whining next to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's what is really making me happy about this book. This issue, I don't know, man. I mean, this book has been really, really solid. I'm gonna give this a 4.25 out of 5. I think it's a really solid book. Definitely something that if anybody's not reading, I very highly recommend it. The way the characters are being written and developed is awesome. Like we were saying, not only is Jack a really interesting character to follow in this book, the side characters are awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had reading this book.
yeah. You know, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna go about 4.25 on this too. I like the art on it a lot. Like I said, I really thought that Adam Polina's artwork. I can't remember his name. Shit. But Adam Polina, I thought like the stuff that he did in this was great. Um, I'm really curious to see where this goes, you know, and I like the fact that they're ramping up Barons Media is like a big threat too, because I think a lot of times when you look at Jack, you just think about Master Dark. You know, that's like the main threat. That's his main like foil. It's good to see them doing other things like this, you know, where it's like we don't have to just rely upon them. That's one thing I hope that like when Harbinger gets back, I hope it's not just like Harada as the bad guy. You know, like they need to get like another big threat for those guys to handle too. And I think the universe right now doesn't have enough bad guys in it that are really good bad guys for each of the like individual books. So having another strong one here, I think is a plus. And I mean, man, Andy Diggle is just like killing this thing, man. Like I feel like not enough people are really talking about how good this book is because it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope that after, maybe a few more issues, more people start realizing what they're missing out on and start picking it up because yeah, I think that if enough people are reading it and the sales are there to keep it going, this could be a really long, it could be a very strong long-term ongoing. and
Yeah.
that's something that all of us Valiant fans love. Um, but then moving on to the other book that we have to review, Exo Manowar 15. Got
The nice La Rosa cover you got there. I got the not sure who this one is, but it's the pre-order edition.
all right
And
on.
you know
He's
what's a
got
bunch of bullshit is like the pre-order editions for EXO have like these nice thick cardstock covers. Every other pre-order edition doesn't. Like what bunch of crap.
yeah. Exo's the
But
special one.
it is.
So I remember saying that I was ready to be done with this arc, before we saw any of it, and I actually really enjoyed this issue.
Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, like, here's my whole take on this. Like, it's not poorly written. The art's very good, but to me, it's just like I don't know if I'm really like ready for like a 4-issue story arc about like
It's
something
only
in the
three.
past. Huh?
I think it's only three.
I thought it was going till 18.
Is it?
I think, and then 19. I thought was going to be the next arc.
Could be right.
But regardless, I mean, like if it's whether it's 3 or 4, I mean, it doesn't really change my opinion too much. I mean, like to me, like this was an okay story, but I'm just I don't really care enough. Like after I read this, I was just like, man, like if I never got this story of Exo Manowar, I'd be okay. It wasn't anything that really wowed me, and I feel like you really couldn't have done something with like Harbinger Wars 2 going on that like like another side of the story here maybe like how like Armor Hunters did it, or you know how the original Harbinger War, how it took different things going on in the main books. I just feel like I didn't really want to read like I don't want to read the story that much. I mean, it's okay, but like it's just not that exciting to me. I guess because it takes place in the past, so no matter what, there's no threat to Auric. We know that everything will just be okay. So I don't know. To me, it just feels like it's just all right.
See, I like the other character that they introduced, and I like, you
Samus,
know,
his name.
yeah, yeah, I liked that guy a lot, and I'm really interested to see and what happens with him through the story. Um, I do like seeing Arik and Gofty. I think that they make a good pair, and them kind of getting up to their, you know, foolhardy hijinks. Uh, I don't know. I think it makes for a fun adventure, and you know, yes, it doesn't like you said. We know that this is not a story where our Arik has the possibility of dying or something. So like the stakes can't be all that high, but at the same time, like it's a fun story. It's like when we were reading the Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe comic, right? And that just felt like an out of canon, fun, kind of a little bit of a fluff thing, but still really enjoyable. And I feel basically the same about this issue. I feel like is this going to have a major impact on the continuity of Exo Manowar in the long term? Probably not. Is this likely to be overlooked by a lot of people, when this run is done? I'm sure it will be. This will probably be looked at by most people as one of the low points. And I can respect that. I can understand that. But at the same time, like I think it's really good for what it is. I thought that the art was enjoyable and appropriate. I thought that and I'm not really a big Trevor Harrison fan, but I thought that it worked for this. And it was really well written. I actually thought this was a pretty strong issue.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't think it was a poorly written issue. It's just a story that I just feel like I just this would have been better, like either like in an annual or like somewhere else where I don't have to read it for like 3 4 months. But
Just put it out as a graphic novel.
well,
Don't
and
bother
the thing
putting
is
issues
too, like
out.
like for me, like we get our digital copies. I read these books like 2 3 times by the time we even do the podcast, and I buy all the deluxe editions. So I own like all this shit like in various formats, and I think a lot of times like, how's it gonna be like when I reread it? And I just can't imagine being like that excited to reread this after already
Yeah.
reading like this issue like twice.
No,
But I
that's
mean,
that's understandable.
yeah.
I
But
don't know. I do still think it's a really strong book, though.
okay,
Um, for me, I mean, for me, this would be a 3.75. I think it is really good. Is it the best book out there? No. And I really don't think that, I mean, Exo Manowar, the whole Kint run has not been my favorite thing in the world. I still prefer the Venditti run personally, but I do think that this is, honestly, for me, this is a high point of the series, and I feel like um, it's got me really excited to see what's coming next because the ideas that Ken is talking about for the next arc, like we were referencing at the beginning of the episode or earlier in the episode, um, I'm actually excited about this book for the first time since he took over. Like, I mean, or since it started, because in that first arc, he kind of lost me, and then that whole Planet Goran thing just really didn't do it for me. And then um, the last issue, didn't feel like it was that special. So this is the first issue of this whole run so far that I really actually starting to look forward to what's coming next. Um, so yeah, that's got me in a good mood.
well, and that brings up another thought in my head too already, because like issue 14 was like Arik, going through the travels of space to get back to Earth, reflecting upon things that drove him away from Earth, and now he's already reflecting back on other shit that's happened in his life, and it's like, come on, let's just get the story moving forward, man. Like,
Hey
see that
man,
fucking energy
he's got
sword
to
hit
reflect
somebody.
on stuff and learn about his reflections
Yeah.
while he reflects. All right.
I don't know. For me, like my grade is not as generous as yours. I mean, like for me, this is like a 3. It's not a bad story. It's just one I'm not really that invested in. What makes me like the issue is I like the art, I like the coloring. Um, the visuals of it I like way more than like the written word that's on it. But it is what it is. You can't like everything. You
No,
know.
I understand where you're coming from, and I don't fault you or anything. Like I wouldn't argue with you or, you
Well,
know.
and all I can think of with whenever there's stories like this where I'm like, oh, I don't like the first issue that much. I just think, you know what? I just hope the rest of it going forward wins me over. And
Sure.
that's kind of how that's how I was with Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. Like we'd waited so long, I didn't even want to read it until I got to see it. And I think like everything with the book, I don't even know if they even had said that the show was gonna like they had announced like a release date. But
No.
the first issue was good, but it wasn't like great. And then as the series went through, like when it finally started getting into like some of the action points, I was like, I do like it. I like it a lot. So who knows? But I don't know. I'm not sold on this issue with it.
No, that's fair. Like I said, this finally has me looking forward to this book. I think that this is the cool thing about Exo Manowar is the juxtaposition between the space travel and the sentient suit of armor and all the crazy stuff that he does. It's that plus the fact that he's, from this ancient culture and went through all the things that he went through, and he's kind of like a Conan-esque type guy. And so we just got 14 issues of Spaceman, World Conqueror.
Spaceman, where's that book? Spaceman World Conqueror.
I'm gonna write it right as soon as we're done here. Spaceman, World Conqueror. Um, that sounds like a great book, actually. Anyway, so we got 14 issues of that. I'm okay getting 4 issues of Conan the Barbarian. You know?
Well, if it's Conan the Barbarian, that's cool. I hope it's got that kind of action to it. Like I
Yeah.
see Ark drop
Well,
some
this
heads
was
on
a really interesting issue. A lot of stuff happened in this issue.
like Crom, just fuck someone up, like split up the head. Let's see that.
See, I like there's like politics in this issue, and there's all kinds of stuff, like there was a lot going on. There's politics and intrigue and subterfuge, you know.
It's cool.
It's a good book when it's got subterfuge. Come on.
I do like subterfuge.
Oh man, I don't know. Either way, like I guess this isn't as much true for you as it is for me, but I thought this was a really solid week. I'm so hyped on Shadow Man right now, and I'm finally turning around on EXO that I was really hyped on this week. And I actually didn't read the books until yesterday. So yeah, yesterday I read them for the first time when I had the physical issues, and um, that's another cool thing about doing this on Thursdays is sometimes I actually get to read the issues physically
Oh yeah,
instead of just
I
the
like to do it
digital.
too because there's been times in the past where there's been things added to the book that I didn't know about because like the digital format doesn't show it. So usually it's just ads, but sometimes there's like the little editorial page, or they'll do like an interview or something like that. And so like that stuff I was thinking, it's like it's neat to just read through the issue. It's got
Yeah.
like when we first started doing this podcast, we get the digital copies like on Friday. We would record the next week, and I bet for a long time I didn't even look at my physical copies.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm like I should just go through those and see like what kind of stuff is in there because
Yeah, what we missed.
as they do things
Because
what
I
we
did the
missed.
same thing. Definitely did the same thing. But no, like I said, I thought this was a strong week. Um, I'm really glad that you know we're at a point where we're finally getting movement on Bloodshot as a movie, and um, as bummed as I am about Lemire, I just I feel like it still puts us, like there's still something to look forward to because who knows what the next Bloodshot book is going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, so question real quick, kind of drifting off of Valiant for a moment, kind of.
yeah.
Did you go to a convention last weekend?
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. So what I was going to get to though is be kind of wrapping up all the Valiant stuff. Next week, Harbinger Wars 2 actually starts, so people should read that. We've got some thoughts on it, and we kind of touched on that last week actually. But we'll be able to talk about that first issue. I'll read it again, and then we've also got Quantum and Woody number 6, which
Oh,
is
okay.
Elliot Rahal's first issue. So we're getting that next week, and then also we're also getting the first issue of the physical release of Valiant High. So that'll be
That should be a
interesting.
good
I,
week.
I never I never read that, so I don't know what to expect.
I know that there's been times in the past where we've been pretty critical about like the Archie style art, and I mean Valiant High is totally like a newer Archie looking book,
Yeah.
but it's pretty funny. But I
I'll,
mean,
I'll I'll rate it. We'll see. I'm looking forward to Quantum and Woody and Harbinger Wars 2.
it
If
it definitely
only
fits into what we have been coining, like that Valiant Elsewhere worlds type thing. This would
sure.
be like Earth 3 for Valiant, the world where Valiant High happens.
That's all well and good, I guess. But yeah, I did go to a convention. Not much in the way of um, anything real exciting happening. It was a Minnesota convention after all. um, I got to talk to Elliot Rahal. That
Oh,
was cool. We talked about his upcoming Quantum and Woody stuff, and he was kind of telling me a little bit about his thought process as he's going into writing Quantum and Woody. And one thing I really liked is that he was talking about how for him, you know, the best humor for the book comes from the interactions of Quantum and Woody. And instead of trying to do like the zaniest, crazy, loopy shit imaginable, what makes it funny is the characters bouncing off of each other, not I don't know, doing the craziest shit. Anyway, so I thought that that was interesting, and I do hope that we get some good character stuff between those characters from him. And then we were also talking about how awesome the Delinquents was, and how much Valiant needs more team books. And so he was saying, like, man, I think it would be cool to do like an ongoing Delinquents book, something like that. And so yeah, I floated the idea to him, and we'll see if anything ever comes of it, which I doubt nothing ever will. But I think it'd be cool to do a Delinquents book where it is like Quantum and Woody, Archer and Armstrong, and then have other characters rotate out, like an arc where the four of them have to help Bloodshot, and it would just be like Cable and Deadpool, right? Like all
yeah.
those groups are morons pretty much, and Bloodshot would have to deal with that, or Exo Manowar, or Ninjak, or Livewire. You know what I mean? Like you could have these other characters rotate out and keep it fresh and interesting, different types of threats that they would go against. Yeah, but Valiant badly needs more team books, and I thought that was fun to talk to Elliot about that. That he thought that would be cool. Um, and then I also talked to another artist, Daniel Dahl. He's a really good, he's an amazing artist, and he said he had actually met Carl Bollers in Chicago at C2E2, and Carl went over his portfolio and then said that someday, not like right now or anything, but someday they may ask him to do um, some samples for them. So I thought that was really cool because Daniel is an amazing Minnesota artist, and I would love to see him working on Valiant stuff. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Get more Minnesota in that lineup.
Did you pick anything up?
Not a ton of stuff, actually. I did get, I got a poster. It's a really sweet, just a 11 by 17 version of a sketch cover that a guy did, Isaac Bell, and it's a Venomized Batman on a Batman blank cover, and it's really
Oh,
fucking cool.
that's pretty cool.
And he also, I picked up, he did a sketch on my comic, John Ramsey's, because I got blanks of those. He did
Yeah.
a sketch on that one of those, and then I also had another artist do a sketch on one of those. So
I was gonna ask you about that. How many sketches do you have of that now? Like that you've had completed?
I'm not 100% sure. I think I had I know I got one, two, three. I might have like five, maybe. I'm
Oh,
not
that's
100% sure on that. But Brent Peoples is coming to Minnesota this summer, and so I'm going to try to see if I can get him to do a sketch of one of my characters on that book.
that'd be good.
Yeah, that's something I'm kind of excited about, especially since he's a Mr. Big Shot at DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, probably not a whole lot else. I'm ready to go lay down. I'm all sore. I actually started going to the gym and working out like a, fat man.
Me too. I started that this week too.
Yeah,
I,
I've
I
been
went to that.
going and just like walking, but we actually are working out now.
Yeah, my doctor was like, you need to like do some changes in your life. I was like, okay. So every morning I get up at like 5:30 and I go to the gym, or I go for a walk for like an hour, and I cut out all my sugar. I had to watch my cholesterol, and it's like, oh, what a drag.
Getting old.
Um, I bought 270 books this week.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is insane.
They do this thing once a year. It's called the Nerd Swap Meet, and it's like my favorite thing they ever do. And they do it at this like this pub restaurant hybrid place. They just do like a little swap meet in their back. Like it's called the Nerd Swap Meet. And there was this guy just selling like all these sets. He said he wasn't gonna collect any single issues anymore. He was just getting trades and hardcovers. And I bought a full run of Snyder's Batman for like $30.
What?
Yeah, I was like, I'll
Oh
take that.
shit.
I'll make my money back on what I buy off of you for that. Um,
Wow. I'll take the number one.
I'll keep it. But I bought. I mean, I have a diamond box full, like up until like where the flaps are, just full of like stuff. I bought a full run. I bought a because I was a little bit behind on Kill or Be Killed. I think I haven't
Oh,
read since like issue like 14 or so. I haven't bought like the last four, but he had the whole run for like he had 1 through 18 for like $8.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll buy
I
that, and
already
then
have all those and I would have bought that.
I know that was the problem with this. Is I was like, shit, man, there's so much stuff here that like I just need to have again. Like I bought a full run of Criminal, which I know you haven't. I don't think
Oh.
you've read.
I've read most of the trades.
Do you like it?
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. So I bought that. I was wanting to get a set because the issues have they have little essays or little like things in the back, and that stuff's not collected. I don't think. And so
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
don't think so.
I was like, I need to find a set of those issues. Um, I bought all of DC Metal for like $6 off this dude.
Sounds like a
It didn't have.
reasonable price.
It didn't have. I haven't read it, so I was like, oh, okay, for $6, like I can get into it. Um, I bought my son some like used Power Ranger toys, and
Nice.
he went crazy. He was like so excited because he loves it so much now.
That's
It's all he
awesome.
talks about. He is hooked. But yeah,
Power Ranger fever.
yeah I spent so much money on comics. I'm trying to think like I just bought so much shit. I bought like an old Batman run that had like Death in the Family in it.
Oh, okay.
And it had like the Todd McFarlane cover where it shows like Batman's cape like fucking crazy.
I always love that cover.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't even like gone through all of it yet. There's so much stuff. I was kind of bummed though because like I bought like some Moon Knight stuff. I like Moon Knight, and I thought it would be more of like the Warren Ellis stuff, and it was like the first 6 issues that Warren Ellis did, and then it was like the Brian Bendis stuff mixed in too, and I was like, shit, I don't even want to read it. But I
Oh.
don't know, a lot of cool stuff. I got like a like half of the run of the Flash from like New 52. I'd read a couple issues and liked it. Hopefully, I like more of
Some
it.
of that stuff, Brian Bucciolato, Francis Manipool, some of that was
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, it looks great. Like the covers look really good. You know, I was kind of sucked in by that. But
They did an arc of Detective Comics in the New 52, or maybe it was two arcs. Not not so great. Don't get sucked into that. But their Flash was awesome.
and then like one thing I read this week that like I was really surprised by how much I liked it. I mean, like, and I'm saying this as a person who doesn't really like the character too much, but like the rebirth version of Superman, I think it's
Mhm.
like Peter Tomasi writes it, and
Sure.
I can't even believe like how much I like the book. Like I really like it a lot. Like, and it's weird because like it's more of like Superman being a dad, and he's got his son, and his son's powers like fluctuate uh, between working and not working. But it's like such a really interesting take because it's not like him sitting at the fucking Daily Planet waiting for like Doomsday to show up and kill someone, or like Lex Luthor to like hijack somebody. So it's like I don't know. It's like a more grounded take. I think it's really interesting, and I guess it's not necessarily the. There's something weird between like this. He's not exactly the same Superman from the New 52. I didn't really read a lot of the New 52 Superman, so there's something weird there. I need to figure it out. But
Yeah, I think what happened is they got rid of the 90s Superman when New 52 hit. And uh after New 52, they brought that guy back.
yeah, so like to me, I'm just
So
like I
he's
don't
not
really
the
know what's
same
going
guy
on,
from
but
the New 52.
yeah, I don't know what's going on quite. But like the stories have been pretty fun. In fact, the last issue I read was like where Jonathan Kent, he's the son of Superman, he meets Damian Wayne, and they're just such little shits together. It's really cool.
They have their own book, you know.
Yeah, I bought the first issue, but I haven't read it.
I only bought the most recent issue because they're
Because
Brent
Brent
Peoples.
Peoples did the art. I know when I read that, I was like, oh, there's one more book I got to start buying.
I know. Yeah, he only did 5 pages in that one issue, so that's all I got. But no, no, that's cool. That I love buying full runs. I just never, I barely ever see them. You know.
I never see him like, but I bought a lot of them. This guy had like all the new. He had like all the rebirth stuff too. Oh, and I bought Deathstroke. Like I bought like the first dozen issues of Deathstroke. I'm really excited to read that too
Yeah,
because
that's
I hear
supposed to be
people
pretty
love it.
good.
People like rant and rave
Christopher
about how good
Priest.
it is. Huh?
I think it's Christopher Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, something I was gonna say. If you ever see it, and if you do, it'll be cheap. New 52 Captain Atom.
Okay.
They only did like 12 issues, but the last four, you can tell that they knew that the series was getting canceled. So they just kind of shat out all the ideas that they had. You know what I mean? It's like, here's to show you that we had enough ideas for like 3 more years of this, and then we're just gonna shit it all out right now, just because no one would ever else see it otherwise.
Yeah.
Um, But so that was kind of the last arc. But the first couple arcs of it, because I read a lot of New 52, and that was like one of the best things. So yeah, if you ever run across that in your journeys,
I might. I'm my whole thing is like if I can ever find something cheap and I haven't read it, I'll usually buy it.
fair enough. Cool. Well, I am gonna go lay my sore ass down.
All
Good
right.
time, though. No, like I said, I was pretty happy with this week. Next week, finally, get to talk about Harbinger Wars 2 and
Yep.
Elliot. We get to begin reading Elliot's take on Quantum and Woody. So, yeah, I think it'll be good.
Be a good
Cool.
week.
Well, thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And we will see you next week. Same Valiant time, same Valiant channel. Signing off, I'm Eric Baumgart.
I'm Josh Rathbun.
And I hope you all stay valiant. Later.
Peace out.